I recently got an email from Richard Branson, founder of the Virgin Group, and he was talking about a question that he hears often, and it's regarding the biggest factor of great leadership. So he starts his email. When I started out in business, there wasn't any course or webinars or experts in the field of leadership that he was aware of. He said he learned instinctively and on the go and realized that there really isn't one all encompassing formula. Everyone responds differently to leadership, so I quickly learned to adapt to different people's needs. Some love to be challenged, while others need gentle encouragement and positive reinforcement. As my first business, Student Magazine, and the Student Advisory Center grew, it became harder to provide such a personalized service. But one thing I knew for sure is that nobody responds badly to kindness. It is one of the most underrated qualities a leader can embrace. While it is important to be visionary, inspiring, bold, clear, and so forth, people often underestimate the simple power of kindness. As the aviation pioneer Amelia Earhart once said, a single act of kindness throws out roots in all directions, and the roots spring up and make new trees. Let's pause there for a second. I love this opening. I love this opening paragraph. I love this opening lesson. I have said for a number of months, for a number of weeks, that especially here in the United States, where we see political divide and cultural divide and all these other things happening, that kindness is a big thing. It's a big deal. And it's going to be the one thing that drives us forward, especially in a way that we can understand one another and especially understand leadership. And it's interesting to me that the two facts that he points out right away, one, that there isn't, or at least at the time, he felt like there wasn't any course or webinars. I almost think the opposite is true now, Richard, that everyone wants to be an expert. Everyone wants to say, I'm a leadership expert and I have courses or webinars, when in fact, many of those people haven't even gone as far as to work with world-class leaders like yourself. So it's just really interesting to see the twist, to see the bend. The second thing that you brought in was your willingness and your ability to be a personalized service, to be in front of people. And I love that you're using the comparison that leadership is a personalized service, because for a long time I've often said that the common thing that separates me and my company from everyone else is not just my leadership capabilities, but my leadership ability to really, give a personalized, custom approach to help, individual leaders and organizations be successful. And I said the day that I can stop doing that is the day that I can stop doing business, right? Let's continue. Aside from kindness, here are a few other ways to be a great leader. So now we're going to get to his top tips to be a great leader. So we'll keep the list short and sweet, but here we go. Number one on the list, and it's one of my favorites, lead from the front. You got to get out there as a leader. Be visible and walk the walk. Whenever I'm on Virgin Atlantic or Virgin Australia flight, I like to walk through the cabin, chatting with the passengers, playing games, hearing their feedback. Even when I'm tired, I find it an invaluable way of getting real feedback while also inspiring our crew. Once, when we had a technical hiccup checking people in on a Virgin Voyages cruise, I stood in a queue waiting with the passengers until it got resolved. Virgin Voyages' wonderful CEO, Nirmal, stood there with me, and we made sure we were the last people on the ship to board. You can't be an inspiring leader. You can't be an inspiring leader unless you're willing to roll up your sleeves and do anything that you would ask your team to do, especially when things don't go to plan. Let me say that one more time. You cannot be an inspiring leader unless you're willing to roll up your sleeves and do anything that you would ask your team to do, especially when things don't go to plan. I love that advice. That is just spot on. Number two, prioritize your people. Lead through positive influence instead of just instilling authority. I've always believed that if you look after your people will look after your business. The people are your greatest asset. And you can't be a good leader if you don't remind yourself of this every single day. A good leader is someone who nurtures people, trains them well, motivates them, and looks after their well-being. Asserting power is a lot less powerful than it sounds. Once again, pure wisdom. This is a principle that I've seen prioritizing your people. This is a principle I've seen trickle through companies like Apple, Amazon, eBay, even SpaceX. But Virgin is on the forefront of this, and they do a fantastic job of this. And even the Walt Disney Company does a great job of putting their people first. Oftentimes, they say that the internal customer is the most important because it would be impossible to create the magic without the right emphasis on the internal customer. Let's go to number 3. Get good, really good at making decisions. I love this one. This one should have been number 1. Decision making is one of the most important things you do as a leader, but people don't talk about it enough. A leader makes decisions countless times a day, so it's vital to sharpen your instincts and be assertive. Coincidentally, this also answers another question that Izzy asked me ahead of this newsletter or this email. He asked, if I make decisions collaboratively or instinctively, and the honest answer is I do both. Honing in on and trusting your instinct is crucial, but it's never wise to go at it alone. I surround myself with brilliant people. Oh boy, this sounds so much like me. I surround myself with brilliant people who I bounce ideas off of every day. It always leads to more refined ideas and more educated decisions. A nice example of this is the launch of Virgin Voyages. I've wanted to launch a cruise ship since I was 27 years old. The urge would crop up at various points in my life, but the timing was just not right. And I had to trust my instinct that it was better to wait. Finally, an opportunity presented itself in 2014. The finances made sense, and the golden days of cruising were well over. It was time to bring it back. I got a group of people around me, put down a giant sheet of paper, and we wrote down all of our ideas, what we love about sailing, what we disliked about cruising, and what we would do differently. And in fact, what we wouldn't do at all. I think that's the big one. We ended up with a ship that was designed like a super yacht with no buffets or single-use plastic in sight. And we now have 3 incredible ships with a 4th on the way, sailing all around the world from Miami to Marseille, sweeping up almost every industry award as they go. A great example of it is a great example of what can happen when you use both instinct and collaboration to make a decision. Man, that is powerful. So one more time, number 3 was get really good at making decisions. I think that's an incredible leadership trait. Number 2 was prioritize your people. Put your people first. If you do that, you're going to be an incredible leader. And then, of course, number 1 was leading from the front, making sure that you have to be out there as a leader and that everyone knows that you're going to lead by example. If you do those things, you're surely going to be successful in business. That's going to do it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have a question specific that you'd like to ask, learn more at AgileDad.com. We'd love to hear from you. As always, we encourage you to stay happy, stay healthy, stay well, and until next time, do take care. Bye now.